The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. Niccolò Machiavelli. Here's a question most people avoid. Who in my life is truly loyal? Not who smiles at you, not who says they love you, not who promises they'll be there forever, but who would actually remain standing beside you when the storms come. If you're honest, the answer unsettles you, because somewhere deep inside, you already know the truth. Most of the people you call friends, partners, allies, will vanish the moment your power fades. The moment your usefulness runs dry, or the moment standing with you costs them more than they are willing to pay. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago, and if you've ever felt betrayed, abandoned, or let down by someone you trusted, you've already tasted the bitter truth he tried to teach. Loyalty is never what it seems. Let's start with a hard truth. People are not loyal to you. They are loyal to their needs, their fears, their ambitions, their survival. A colleague who praises you at work isn't loyal to you. They re-loyal to what you represent: opportunity, protection, influence. A partner who swears eternal love may, at some level, still be loyal to what you give them: comfort, stability, identity. Strip those away, and their so-called loyalty often withers too. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly, covetous." Harsh, yes, but watch closely, and you'll see how accurate it is. Look back at your own life. Friendships that dissolved the moment you stopped giving, relationships that crumbled when challenges arrived, allies who quietly disappeared when siding with you became risky. It hurts, but this pain is clarity. If loyalty is so fragile, why do we believe in it so deeply? Because humans are story-driven creatures. We need to believe in loyalty the same way we need to believe in love, meaning, or justice. Without it, life feels unbearably cold. Without it, trust would vanish, relationships would collapse, and society itself would unravel. So we create illusions. We take fleeting loyalty and label it eternal. We take transactional loyalty and label it unconditional. We hear words like always and forever, and we let them soothe us even when actions whisper otherwise. Nietzsche once said, "We have art so that we shall not die of the truth." Perhaps our idea of loyalty is a kind of art, painted over the darker reality of human self-interest. But here's the paradox. To live blindly in this illusion is dangerous. It sets you up for betrayal. To see the truth, without letting it harden you into bitterness, may be the only path to real strength. So how do you know who is truly with you? Machiavelli hinted at a brutal but effective test. Place people in situations where standing with you costs them something. Because when loyalty demands a sacrifice, masks fall away. Ask yourself, who supports you when you have nothing to offer? Who defends you when they risk being hated for it? Who stands beside you not only when it's safe, but when it's dangerous? Most will fail this test. And that is not a tragedy. It is reality. The tragedy is in believing otherwise. Look through history, and you'll see this pattern repeated endlessly. Julius Caesar, surrounded by men he thought were loyal, was stabbed by those very same men, Brutus included. He trusted loyalty where he should have trusted self-interest. In contrast, look at Machiavelli's observations of mercenaries. He despised them, not because they were incompetent, but because they were loyal only to money. They fought bravely when paid, but vanished when the money dried up. Loyalty, he argued, that depends on reward is never true loyalty. It is hired service disguised as devotion. Even friendships between great thinkers, Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, were not immune to this dynamic. Respect, admiration, and alignment of values held them together. But the moment those shifted, loyalty turned to distance, criticism, even betrayal. Why does betrayal cut so deeply? Because it forces us to face not only the other person's weakness, but also our own blindness. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance. You believe someone would never hurt you. When they do, your mind collapses in conflict. Were they lying all along? Was I a fool? Do I even know who they are? The betrayal is not just of trust, it is of identity. You question your own judgment, your ability to discern truth from illusion. And this is exactly why Machiavelli urged rulers, and by extension, all of us, to never rely fully on loyalty, but on structures, strategies, and an awareness of human weakness. To see this truth is to risk bitterness. To know that loyalty is fragile may tempt you into cynicism. But Machiavelli's lesson was not to despair, it was to adapt. To become cold-blooded does not mean to live without feeling. It means to live without naivety. It means to love without clinging, to trust without blindness, to lead without illusions. Plato wrote that wisdom begins in wonder. Machiavelli might counter, wisdom begins in suspicion. True strength is not in never being betrayed, but in never being destroyed by betrayal. So how do you hold this paradox in daily life? Don't confuse loyalty with affection. Someone may love you deeply, yet still fail you when it costs them too much. Test loyalty quietly. Observe who shows up when nothing is at stake. Watch who speaks up when silence is easier. Expect less, appreciate more. If loyalty appears, see it as a gift, not a guarantee. Be loyal to principles, not people. People shift, betray, and change. But principles, truth, honor, justice, remain. Align yourself with those who share them, not just with those who flatter you. Here's the irony. Once you stop demanding loyalty, you often find it more easily. Why? Because people can sense when you are whole without them. They can sense when your strength is not rooted in their approval. And paradoxically, that very independence attracts deeper forms of connection. When you no longer beg for loyalty, you create space for something rarer. People who stay not because they must, but because they choose to. So ask yourself again, who is truly loyal to me? Don't rush to comforting answers. Don't hide in illusions. Let the silence sting. Let the truth unsettle you. Because in that discomfort lies your power. Machiavelli would tell you, do not be fooled by words, oaths, or promises. Watch actions. Test them in fire. And above all, build your strength so that your survival, your dignity, your life itself does not depend on loyalty from others. Then, and only then, will you know who truly stands with you. And maybe, just maybe, you'll discover that real loyalty is not what you expect. It is rarer, sharper, quieter, and it reveals itself only when you no longer need it. So the question is not who will stand with me. The question is, am I strong enough to stand alone?